Hello everyone. Today's my topic of presentation is the evolution of women's rights, contrasting Pamela and present day. Pamela Andrew in the Pamela or Virtue Rewarded symbolized the 18th century women marked by the strong morality, submission to man, and domestic focus. Resilience and her transition from servant to respected lady exemplify the era's ideal. Basically, the Pamela Andrew is symbolizing that she is a kind of very much example for the 18th century women. On the other hand, today's women's rights are how evolving that we are going to take a look in this presentation. Pamela embodies 18th century female servant character. Her main work in the time is to being a servant. Her resilience and virtue reflect real life servitude challenges, such as, according to her, virtue is truest nobility. So she is thinking that if she will be virtuous, then she didn't face that much of problem. At the end, she will face a positive change in the society. And marriage after advances question female servitude's reward that. His master trying to take advantages of her, and still she is virtuous so that she is getting a reward at the end. So that is the character is trying to portraying this, unyielding against Mr. B's advances, displaying strength. Such dialogues like, I begin to tremble at being left alone with a man of such loose principles. So this quote is reflect that she has a very kind of anger from Mr. B, and even she is resisting against her master. So 18th century women are not that much of capable to question them, but Pamela's character is such that she is questioning in that. Pamela's revolutionary journey, that Pamela's marriage to Mr. B defines the class norms, prioritizing love and social status, illustrating societal rebellion. That though she is belonging from a lower class, still she is able to gain the class by marrying Mr. B. So this also reflect by her this dialogue that, oh, Mr. B, there is great deal in a young woman's being, lifted all at once to the highest station. So even in this dialogue, we can find that she thinks that by marrying Mr. B, her status is suddenly get changed from lower class to higher class. So now she has a different kind of rights. And uses of letters in the as we know that Pamela is an epistolary novel, and that's why the letters are a central thing through which Pamela is getting her rights. So letters are symbolizing that, and she resisting, she noted down everything in the letter. So this is a one kind of a way in which the women can raise their voice and get their rights. While we are talking about such aspect that 18th century females in Pamela's time have a limited autonomy and required consent. Every time Pamela wants consent of Mr. B for doing anything. And on the other hand, while we are comparing it to the present time, then nowadays women have a greater kind of opportunity, and now they don't need someone's consent on the larger context, and they are independent in decision making. And even they have a, even while we're talking about 18th century, then have they don't have that much of an economic independence. While present time women are going into the workplace, we women are becoming economical independent, and that's why their rights are evaluating in that time. Legal and politics involvement, and we can find that even throughout the novel of Pamela, Pamela is not at all going into the political affairs, while in present time the women's are going. Women's rights evolution, that nowadays women's are gaining legal voting rights, and now we are finding that there are anti-discrimination and even in economic empowerment. Pamela's being a woman in a form of a lower class create extra difficulties and unequal power dynamics, just like intersectional feminism described. According to Kimberly Crenshaw, she said that a prism for seeing the way in which various forms of inequality often operate together and exacerbate each other. For example, Pamela being a woman facing problems, but she is also belonging from lower class. So there is not one kind of inequality, but multiple kind of inequality are putting down on the Pamela, and that's why she is being a victim of a intersectional feminism too. While we are talking about the context of present time, then and in the politics, recently we find that while making of a new parliament, this new bill of women reservation bill is going to be passed, but still not yet passed. But what kind of advantages women will get through this bill? So women get chance to be in politics in India, and they are doing this by sitting aside and sits for women in Lok Sabha and state legislative assemblies. So now women are getting space in 33% of space in the Lok Sabha and legislative assembly too. Not even women, but scheduled caste and scheduled tribes are also getting space in new parliament. So this bill is going to be too much profitable for women's rights too. And the seats will be decided after a new census, which will announced in later years, and it will be last for 15 years in parliament decided. So the new reservation bill, what kind of advantages this new reservation bill will give to the women, that it increase gender equality, inclusive policies, and greater female participation in politics too. So now they have a right to make laws too. So they now their consent is also matters. Even recently, according to Claudia Goldin, who won a Nobel Prize in economics recently, she shared her view that in the past many women in US used to work, but then the numbers of working went down. So according to article of Times of India, that two status, Duflo and Banerjee, they both status that it started going up again during the Great Depression and World War II, women's participation in workplace, while in the present time it is decreasing because of such responsibilities that women are facing. They are not getting equal position in workplace too. So now this is decreasing. So that's what the outcome of Claudia's research of the time, and that's why she got the Nobel Prize in that. And while we are talking about in the context of India, that it's even harder for women to work due to family responsibilities and safety concern. We need to make things better to women at work. That's what the writers or editors of the article said in that article. So, in conclusion, we can say that women's rights have come long way since Pamela's time in 18th century, and this shows that society and laws have changed due to years of people fighting for women's rights. So now, not women are not that much of suppressed. The evolution is there. Women's rights are evoluted with the time, and comparing Pamela's time with today's remind us how we have to improve, but how much more we need to make things completely fair for everyone. So, according to the last article, that we are in a better place, but still we need to work on that kind of a places. That's what the conclusion of this presentation can be. These are my references, and now if you have any question, feel free to ask.
So Dhatri, my question is for you that tell me that Pamela's marriage with Mr. B was right in your point of view or not? And then if yes, then why? And if no, then also why?
Okay. Um, First of all, Pamela belongs to 18th century. So while we are taking Pamela's context at that time, so at that time Pamela's marriage, because she has not that kind of economic independence, even she has to work for her own gain. So at that time she need that kind of a marriage which can give her also a class evolution, that she get a class and money too. So at while talking about the context of 18th century, it is right, but when we are comparing it in the present time, then Pamela must not be married Mr. B, because now she has legal rights. We have a great kind of rights, and we have a great kind of even laws, so that can help Pamela to get justice. So in if Pamela would be in present time, she cannot get married to Mr. B. So in 18th century context, she can be, but now if we are comparing it in present time, that now maybe Pamela cannot get married to Mr. B.
My question is Pamela's role in the revolutionary journey and what kind of impact she had on the movement on that time.
Okay. Samuel Richardson wrote this Pamela. He was basically editor, and he was writing this for providing examples that how what kind of a letter should be written in that time. So what is a ideal kind of a layout for the letter, and that's why he started writing. But slowly and steadily he started writing on the behalf of Pamela, and he's trying to evolve the character of Pamela. And as being a male, he wrote about the Pamela. So he tries to convey the message that through the character of Pamela, sure, other women can get the idea that what kind of virtues she needs in her life, and what if you will be virtuous, then you will definitely get rewarded. That's what Samuel Richardson is trying to say through this novel. So her revolutionary journey is totally we can say that it can be exemplify for other women that they can learn. So basic motive of Samuel Richardson was that women also get moral message from that. So definitely this novella or a particular character of Pamela is giving a impact on all the women of that time, 18th century era. And even women are too much get involved with this character that they started imitating Pamela even. And after that, even writers are getting that kind of influence that other writers wrote such as Shamela and all. So the character of Pamela is a kind of a character which give a vast impact on the audience, particularly on the women and on the other writers too. Okay, thank you.